Switchback. Located at ZDT's Amusement Park in Seguin, Texas, this small park roller coaster made history as the first modern wooden shuttle coaster. Held the record for steepest angle on a wooden roller coaster at 87 degrees, and was only the 5th sit-down roller coaster to feature a vertical rollback, at least as far as I can tell. With its uniqueness, is Switchback one of the best roller coasters in the world? Well, no. But I do believe it is a top-tier roller coaster, as I rank it as the 4th best roller coaster in the state of Texas. With the sad news that ZDTs and Switchback are closing August 17, 2025, I wanted to update my Switchback review, as the one currently on my channel just lacks the video quality that this coaster deserves, since I made that video back in 2022. Most of the writing was actually really good from that review, and I just carried it over to this one. So once again, find out why I love Switchback in this review. ZDT's Amusement Park, named for the owner's kids, Zach, Danielle, and Tiffany, was founded in 2007 as a family fun center. The park has a large amount of video games and various attractions, such as my wife's favorite, the rock climbing walls, that are unique for an amusement park. With strategically chosen flat rides and a decent water park lineup, ZDT's is a solid theme park. In 2015, ZDT's got on Coaster Enthusiast map with Switchback. Complaints online about ZDT's have focused on the price being too high, considering the park takes only about 2 to 3 hours to complete. Obviously, as a family theme park, they can't offer as cheaper rates as Six Flags or SeaWorld. However, I am normally crazy cheap about everything, but I make an exception for this park and roller coaster. And I've gladly paid $30 for tickets for my brother to join me at ZDT, along with personally buying an annual membership, since I will want to go back and ride Switchback about once a month. On my first visit, I didn't buy my membership, since like many people online, I figured I'd do everything in 2 to 3 hours, get multiple Reride, and really wouldn't need to go back. But then, I really wanted to go back, and to keep going back. Plus, since I actually buy food at this park, wanted the ability to possibly bring a friend for free, and the ability to get a full 12 months out of my pass, I felt a membership was best for only about $120, or your $30 day ticket plus $7.99, which at the time was the same monthly price as my SeaWorld membership. If you're content with the park's offerings, know you will enjoy what ZDT has, and are willing to maximize your time with multiple Rerides, ZDT's is really worth every penny that you pay. Yes, I know they're closing, and even if you can no longer buy a membership, I really didn't have the heart to take out those 2 paragraphs, as they're absolutely true. Now, on to Switchback. This Gravity Group wooden roller coaster has Timberliner trains, which are really comfy, and feature 4 rows for a total of 8 seats. As this park normally is not too busy, I suggest trying to ride in every single seat, since you can, and I did this on both my visits in 2025, as well as getting over 20 laps on Switchback on each of my visits. The front row offers a great view, plus that world record incline, so I would suggest sitting up there on your very first ride, just to maximize the overall experience. The back offers better airtime off the first drop, so if you're looking to maximize the drop, sit back there. With the intensity of the Overbanked Turn, choosing to sit on the left or the right side of the car does matter. The right side is generally more intense, but if you lean your arm and body against the padded side of the car, it can greatly reduce the intensity of the backwards overbank. For this reason, I prefer to sit on the right hand side of the train. After riding this coaster, and many more others as well, I have learned how to mitigate the backwards intensity. Even Mr. Freeze at Six Flags Over Texas is not nearly as bad as it used to be for me, by focusing my eyes on the train itself instead of looking around during those super intense moments. but still, being able to brace yourself for the backwards overbank should help keep you feeling a lot better while marathoning this coaster. Switchback starts out with a small turnaround from the station, though not as great as an RMC's pre-lift segment like, say, the Iron Rattlers. This is a solid moment of laterals, especially if you sit on the left-hand side of the train. Then, the train goes up a traditional chain, even though you're on a shuttle coaster. Since ZDT is off of a street in Seguin, the turnaround at the top offers a nice, though brief moment to view the surrounding city area. Then, you're plunged down a 56-foot drop. Although this drop is shorter than Six Flags Fiesta Texas's Roadrunner Express, you feel every foot of this drop, especially because of the sideways slant. On my most recent rides, this was delivering a decent drop feeling, especially if I leaned into it or otherwise looked away during that drop. Most drops just don't hit for me nowadays, so it is a real treat to have one actually give me a great drop feeling. After a small straightaway, you go over a quick bunny hill that at times has been just okay for me, and is the only part of the ride that I felt could be better after my initial rides. Though, one of my rides on Switchback, where the restraint got left a little loose due to my winter jacket, did cause me to get enough ejector airtime on this hill to make me literally feel like I was flying out of the car. As I've ridden this more, where the restraints are slightly loose, the ride attendants normally won't staple you here, but it's not quite like Magic Springs, where they will let you choose how loose you want your restraint. This hill has consistently offered strong airtime, so my initial rides on this coaster likely had me making the restraint a bit tighter than it needed to be and taking the airtime out of this hill. You then turn quickly through a building, and it really feels like this coaster is out of control at this point with its speed, which is a great feeling to have. Then you have a second bunny hill that gives another pretty good pop of airtime throughout the whole train. Next, the train goes through the 104 degrees Overbanked Turn. Backwards, this is one of the most intense single elements that I've ever experienced on a coaster, leaving my head hurting a bit, and the reason that Switchback is one of the two roller coasters that has caused me to throw up. Somehow Wildcat at Frontier City also got me this year. Still trying to figure that one out. Forwards, the overbank isn't too bad, but just be prepared in case it tries to take a bite out of you. Then, Switchback navigates two small hills with a turn in between. These dial back the strong airtime a bit, as you do lose a fair amount of speed climbing up into them. As a fan of airtime, if your speed was stronger here, this would really help. After these lackluster bunny hills, you come face to face with the vertical rollback. As a unique sensation, the first few times I rode Switchback, I could really feel the weightlessness caused by this element, even in the back row. But after a few re-rides, it shifts to more of a stop and start again sensation. Despite not feeling like one of the best roller coaster elements in the world, I give Switchback tons and tons of credit for its uniqueness because of this element, which helps it stay so highly ranked on my roller coaster list. Then, the train repeats the course backwards. The two small hills and the turn offer moderate airtime, which is slightly surprising only because they did less going forwards. But this is nice enough getting some backwards airtime, especially for a family coaster. But again, that backwards overbank is painful, but in the bestest of ways, as it gives you a real element to conquer. As you begin to lose speed, you navigate the second bunny hill, large turn, and the first bunny hill again. Your speed is a lot less here, so these elements offer mild forces and nothing too special. I do feel the braking is a little harsh, as you won't go too much up the first hill, and you slam into your restraints, which really messes with me especially going backwards for some reason. But it does its job to almost end your ride on Switchback, as you do get to watch the switch track operate at the end of your run by bringing you back to the station, and this is just really cool to see. With a 2-minute ride time, and since there were really large crowds of ZDTs, you can likely ride Switchback again and again. Sometimes I've been allowed to stay in my seat to re-ride, whereas other times I've had to walk around. Though with the intensity of this ride, I really do need some type of break between re-rides. They would likely hold trains to try to be full, so if you do walk around and there is still an empty row, you are more than welcome to hop right back on again. With them doing really quick checks to their restraints, this coaster was able to cycle so many times throughout my day at the park. And even with one train operations on all my visits, it was one of the easiest coasters that I've ever ridden to get many laps on. Overall, how good is Switchback? Initially, I ranked Switchback as the second best coaster in the San Antonio area, right above the Iron Rattler and right behind the Steel Eel, as there's just more that I wanted out of the Iron Rattler, at least when I rode it the first few times. I have since bumped the Iron Rattler above Switchback in my rankings, but it still doesn't quite hold the same charm that Switchback does for me, where I am totally content with everything Switchback gives me. That's not to say Switchback is the best coaster ever. When riding it for the first time, I was hopeful that maybe it might be, only to come away slightly disappointed. As a family coaster, it is wild, harsh, filled with solid drops, all while offering one of the most unique gimmicks in the world. But solid floater airtime, like on the Steel Eel, is still a superior roller coaster gimmick in my opinion. For now, Switchback ranks as my favorite family coaster, with the perfection of Runaway Mine Train's bumpy first section and Speedy Mouse's crazy laterals coming in as a distant second and third. I have it ranked right above Griffin at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which offers a really good visual that helps its main drop, as well as a bunny hill that hits, which elevates this to my favorite dive coaster. I rank it right below Titan at Six Flags Over Texas, that offers a solid drop, fun airtime moments, and strong intensity. And Titan has seemed to remain high in my rankings because it's fun and really doesn't do anything wrong as a coaster. Though, with my love for Switchback, it probably could likely edge out Titan. What are your thoughts on the super unique roller coaster? Do you agree that it is one of the best roller coasters in Texas? Let me know, and as always, Harpoon Crop.